Let's take a brief look at the Gage Weapon Pack number 2. This was, as suggested by its title, the second weapon pack released for Payday 2. Way back in the day, this DLC was a huge game changer for Payday 2's weapon variation, introducing both light machine guns and melee weapons to the lineup. Since then, both types of weaponry have had their balance fluctuate left, right, and center, with the formerly present movement speed penalties being removed, bipods being introduced, and most importantly, Update 168's massive across-the-board LMG buff. Where does this leave Weapon Pack number 2? Have these newly added features kept the DLC pack relevant even in the wake of its merger with Ultimate Edition, or has the pack been sent to the ash heap of history? Well, we'll start by looking at the first weapon this pack provides, the Rpk Lmg. Boasting a mean 120 damage and even meaner 8 stability, it can be hard to tell what's taking more damage, the cops or your wrists. Assuming you boost or nullify the stability to useful amounts via a free bipod or modifications available from other packs in Ultimate Edition, you're basically looking at a high damage, high mag capacity, oversized assault rifle. Top it off with a deep ammo pool and a surprisingly swift reload as far as LMGs go, and you might not even notice how few shots you're actually landing. Bipods may negate recoil, but your accuracy will still be noticeably poor. The Rpk feels like the lightest of the light machine guns, to the point of being the only LMG that can work in a full dodge crit build. Barely, mind you, considering the horrid starting line of 1 concealment. And even so, the middling stability you'd be left with makes it hardly ideal. Regardless, when it's used for its intended purpose, being a heavyweight, medium-range Kalashnikov that can and will miss 99 shots yet still be lethal, it's perfectly serviceable, provided you can put up with frequent reloads. If you cannot, you'll likely favor the KSP LMG, adding an additional 100 bullets to the magazine and reserves alike. When compared to the Rpk, this is the kind of firearm I picture when I hear light machine gun. While the KSP may be the lowest damage LMG in this pack, it's also the fastest firing, and paired with a higher base stability, this weapon works like a charm straight out of the box, although a bipod and laser to improve stability and aim wouldn't go unnoticed. The relatively high accuracy is worth pointing out too. The KSP has no problem dealing with troublesome snipers. Just be sure to use the bipod or fire in short controlled bursts. All of this doesn't mean the KSP is without flaws, however. While its booming ammo economy will keep its reserves stocked, a crippling 5.5-second reload will create frequent unwanted downtimes. Seeing as the KSP is belt-fed, performing a tactical reload won't speed up matters in the slightest, so it's best to keep firing until your last shell has been ejected. Overall, I'd say the KSP's pros outweigh its cons, and many view it as the best LMG in the game. It's really a weapon like no other, except for the nearly identical and free KSP-58. That weapon may take an extra second to reload, but it also doesn't require ownership of Ultimate Edition. Still, despite its admitted redundancy, I'm a big fan of the KSP, and yet it doesn't hold a candle to my absolute favorite LMG in all of Payday 2, the Brenner 21. If the KSP is Papa Bear and the Rpk Mama Bear, then the Brenner is Goldilocks, falling just in the middle. Right? It shares many stats with the Rpk, namely damage, ammo capacity, and sadly stability. However, it trades about a second of reload time for an additional 50 rounds per mag. A trade-off I see as well worth it. These lower accuracy LMGs are gonna miss a fair number of shots, so I'll take infrequent reloads over shorter ones, especially considering that many reload speed-up skills exist, such as lock and load or bloodthirst. Sure, it may have fewer customization options than your standard LMG, but its base stats combined with accuracy and stability skills keep it competitive with the rest. Sure, it may have the lowest fire rate of any LMG in the game, but that just makes it easier to control. Sure, it may have an inexcusably long non-tactical reload, but you shouldn't let the mag run dry to begin with. Listen, I will bend over backwards claiming this below-average LMG is the best one in the game, alright? I just love it aesthetically. It's far and away the coolest looking, most potent feeling LMG this game has to offer. It pains me to say it, but you're likely better off with the Rpk or KSP in specialized builds. But damn it, Payday the Heist gave me a love for the Brenner that cannot be quenched. I'll use it until I die, which I will as I've run out of ammo and I'm spending 7 seconds reloading. Speaking of mediocre weapons that are only used for style points, this pack added the first 4 melee weapons Payday 2 ever had. This lovely set of knives includes the URSA, the Krieger, the Berger Combat, and the Trotman knives. While I appreciate their place in Payday's history, none of these weapons have a place in the meta today. Also, why the hell is the folding knife the only one of the bunch to not have perfect concealment. Anyways, finally our 4 masks, being Alpha Force, Commander Crime, the Gage Blade, and the Troubled War Veteran. I appreciate the references to G.I. Joe and Rambo, but the Gage Blade and its Mega variant are far and away my favorite masks in all of Payday 2. I love Deathstroke, man. And that's just about it. So, was Weapon Pack number 2 a good addition? Absolutely. Introducing not one, but 2 entirely new weapon classes to Payday 2 is no doubt impactful, and updates after the fact have kept these particular LMGs relevant even today. If this pack were standalone and not a part of Ultimate Edition, I'd say even with the buffs you'd only want to purchase it if you're an LMG enthusiast. However, considering now it's just another part of Ultimate Edition, any flaws these weapons may have when compared to other DLC becomes irrelevant. And sure, the KSP-58 is a serviceable base game substitute, but it lacks the customization and fine-tuning provided by Gage Weapon Pack number 2. It was a great DLC on release, had its power crept upon, but now serves as a staple of Payday's weapon lineup. That'll be everything, and hey, if you liked the video, maybe consider subscribing. Regardless, thanks for watching, and take it easy.